Agent gave my door code to friends. Need input. So I moved out of my condo a couple weeks ago and left a bed, living room furniture, some TVs and 4 cameras. One for each room. We are under contract but not closing until July 15th. We moved 1,200 miles away. This morning I have notifications that someone entered the unit around 12:30 a.m. last night. I started looking at the footage and it was early mid-20s couple that entered with suitcases. Within 10 minutes, they were naked and walking around. Their whole stay lasted about 2 hours. During that time they never went to sleep that I can tell. My first thought was that they just used it as a hookup place. But it looks like they dropped in just for showers and left. At one point, they realize there are cameras everywhere, not sure how they didn't notice that to begin with. They're just sitting out all over the place and they get on the phone with my agent freaking out about it, at which point I'm pretty sure my agent instructed them to start unplugging cameras. So they unplugged the bedroom and turned the living room camera around but left the kitchen camera untouched. Fast forward to this morning, and after freaking out for a good half hour while reviewing footage, I asked my agent about it. They called me and explained that they had friends in the area with no place to go and it was too late to call me to ask. They apologized profusely. I didn't really get into it with them overnight. The phone, my responses were just a lot of uhs and well, okays because I didn't want to overreact and I just wanted off the phone. Now, in my opinion, as my agent, the thought should have never entered their mind to even ask, let alone actually give away the code to friends. They've reached out a couple of times to apologize but they keep saying I knew it was empty and didn't think you were coming back and you left your stuff there and this isn't something I'd do. Part of me wants to say no harm no foul, nothing malicious happened that I can tell. But the other part of me says yeah, this is in fact something they do. So far advice has ranged from make them give up their comp to I would call the cops. I'm sort of in the business myself, so I'm kind of in the middle thinking that all I can do is report it to the broker and real estate commission, but I'm not sure if I want to go that far. Asking for a commission reduction seems a little dirty and blackmailish and doesn't seem like it fixes anything. Until this happened, we've gotten along great. They're good at what they do. They helped us when we bought the place years ago and I don't really want to potentially destroy someone's career over it. But I do wonder if by not reporting it, I'm perpetuating this kind of behavior. Aside from that, I don't care. Like if I report it, I imagine that best case scenario, the broker will make an example and deter all of their agents from doing things like this. So what action is appropriate here? To report or not report? Hotels don't exist. This is bullshit. As an agent, that is beyond not acceptable. Unplugging the cameras? That says he knew he fucked up and was trying to see you and see you badly. He didn't come to you, he made excuses once he got caught. Slimy, unethical and illegal. I would call his broker and flip out a little. Or a lot. That's a violation of professional trust, let alone ethics. At the very least, you need to report it. I would have already called the cops. I don't buy it that it was too late to contact you. When did these friends decide they needed a place? It would have been way before 12:30. Your agent could have easily messaged you. So to me this shows egregious disregard for your relationship. Report it, to everyone. To police, to their broker. And do not continue to work with this agent. Commission reduction? Why would you even want to keep working with them at all? How could you ever trust them again? This isn't something I do. It is exactly something they do. Because they did it. They're now trying to gaslight you. Don't give in. This is so beyond the pale. This agent deserves to lose the commission, deserves to lose his license, and should never be trusted with any other homeowner's codes or keys ever again. I would feel so violated if this happened to me, and I would do my best to ensure it didn't happen to anyone else. I really hope you call the police and this agent's broker. Fun fact number 1: ethics violation in real estate is using other people's property as a hookup spot. At least for the boards I've belonged to in SoCal. If you report them to their realtor board or state agency, it's typically a slap on the wrist and X amount of hours of ethics classes. If they did this to you, they do it to everyone. It's not a one-off thing. An agent in my state lost their license for that a few years ago, and yours should, too. Report him. If he's doing it to you, he's probably doing it to other people's homes as well. He might be the type of agent who has things mysteriously disappear from their clients' homes. You need to contact a lawyer, and the police, and the real estate commission. Obligatory. I am not a lawyer, but this sounds highly illegal. Losing his real estate license might be the least of his problems. This was not an oopsie. This was something he knew was wrong. And you, as someone in the business, have an obligation to report it. Isn't so me thing I do WTF? Bro, it's something you literally did. Please report it. IDK how it works down there, but in Ontario they'd get disciplined and issued a massive fine and would have this publicly displayed in the website that regulates realtors. 1. You should absolutely file a police report against the agent and people. 2. You need to contact the agent's broker to report this. First things first. Change your door code, and if the agent has keys, change the locks. You could go with a more open-ended approach. Meet with agent and broker and ask them what they are going to do to make this right. You will not destroy the agent's career. They did that with their own actions. Upside: next time your agent will be sure to check for cameras before renting out a client property as an Airbnb. Meanwhile, they're off to go joyriding in customer vehicles at their other job as an automobile mechanic. Unacceptable. Have your cameras been plugged back in yet, or is your house just sitting unmonitored now that you know it desperately needs to be monitored? This is so dangerous. The more I think about it, the more crazy it becomes. What if you were there for some reason? What if someone tried to get into the house while you were there and you had a gun or something to defend yourself? I know this is all hypothetical, but if the agent is doing this, it just takes one bad circumstance for some shit to go down and ruin lives. This is something they do. BC they did it. Report them. Holy crap, I would have flipped my nut. That's not your agent's house to use for any damn thing but selling it. This won't have been the first time they did something like this, unless they're extremely new. If call his broker. Send them the video. Flip out a lot. Threaten to go to the media, or, probably more significant, a bad online review. On principle, this is horrifying. But more than that, what if those people had damaged your house? Come on. I know that nothing bad happened, but the agent was so cavalier about this. The liability for the broker is huge. At the very least, the broker should know what's going on. Your house is not his personal Airbnb. Fuck that agent. Report to his broker, and the licensing agency in your state. File a police report. This is completely insane. Imagine you'd been staying there at the time. People could literally die this way. The fact the realtor and his friends thought this was no big deal suggests they're up to this type of stuff all the time. I would feel an ethical need to at least report this to the licensing board. This is how squatters happen. Real estate salesperson here, albeit I focus in commercial. I know many residential salespersons. This is completely unacceptable behavior, and depending on the state, violates numerous laws of fiduciary responsibility to you. I also promise you this is not the first time this person has done this, just the first time someone had cameras recording. Report them. The person with this kind of judgment should not be in control of most people's largest asset and largest liability. Regardless of how little this impacted you or your property, this shows an egregious lack of maturity on your agent's end. They absolutely need to be reported to their broker and all licensing agencies.